Welcome to FranchiseWire Live, your source for all things franchising. Remember to subscribe to FranchiseWire Live on YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And for the latest in news, events, and happenings in franchising, bookmark FranchiseWire.com. Now here's the host of FranchiseWire Live, IFPG President, Red Boswell.
Yes, we're back. FranchiseWire Live. I'm your host, Red Boswell, president of the International Franchise Professionals Group, IFPG. And yes, we have a sponsor, our friends at Brand Journalist. Many of you know Thomas Scott. Well, right there, right? Brand Journalist, a great PR firm, videos, getting you exposure, bringing your franchise website into the new century. Brand Journalist can help you out with that. Now, for why we're all here, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Justin. Justin is with Unity Road and has built a strong reputation in franchising. Justin Livingston. Notice how I forgot his name a while ago, but now it came to me. So now I said it. Justin Livingston. And we're just going to talk franchising, hopefully bless some franchisors out there and talk about what's going on in franchising, what is coming down the road in franchising, maybe learn a little bit about his brands as well. Justin, welcome to today's FranchiseWire Live.
Thanks, Mike. Glad to be here.
You know, your name's right there on the screen, dadgummit. Hey, man, I lead a Sunday school class at church, and half the time I forget my wife's name when I'm on stage. So nothing personal. So just where you at today?
I am in the office. I have an office here. We're mostly in my home office, and you'll see my wife behind me. But because I'm with you today, I thought I'd up the class, up the professionalism, and go to my office, which is just an office of one. It's just me here.
But and where is this office of one located?
Louisville, Colorado, just outside of Boulder.
Nice. And gorgeous out there right now. You getting any snow yet?
Yeah, just today. It's been beautiful. We've been sunshine, blue skies, but we've got some snow rolling in today. So we're going to load up the kids and do a little skiing this weekend.
Oh, dog. Nice. Rub it in.
Yeah.
And how old are the kids?
9, 7, and 5.
Right on. 9, 7, and 5.
Deep in it.
I am like 9 years behind you on all three of my kids. I got it 18, 16, and 14. Wow.
It's a good spread. I like it. But right now at this age, whew, man, it's a lot.
It doesn't get easier. They get even busier.
Yeah.
Well, cool, brother. Thank you for joining us today and talking franchise talk with us. Unity Road. Who is Unity Road and what do y'all do?
Yeah, so Unity Road is exciting, man. We are a cannabis dispensary franchise. And for those of you who don't know what cannabis is, it's weed. We sell weed. So we are.
What's your title?
VP of Franchise Development.
No, I thought it was drug dealer. When
I got nothing to do with that.
And you got some cool slogans. I'm a big fan of puns, man. And so it's not the gold rush, it's the
green rush.
Thank you. You need a brand that has fun puns.
Yeah,
it just makes right. it mixes it up, and makes life a lot funner. Sorry to interrupt you.
With a cannabis dispensary franchise, and really the first of our kind, and it's taken all of the things we know and love and franchising and systems and processes and brands and all that. We're putting it together with cannabis, which is a very new and legally new and fragmented industry that desperately needs the roadmap that franchising offers.
Well, I was fortunate enough to attend a Discovery Day a year or so ago with you in Denver, and minds were blown. We had a couple dozen consultants there looking at football fields inside football field size, multi-football fields of cannabis plants. So fascinating. Green Rush is a appropriate title for it. You had infants in the back. You had the big full grown. You had them with all sorts of fruit on them. You had people, harvesting. You claimed you were giving away free samples. We didn't see any of those.
Yeah.
But Man, it's just a fascinating issue. I know we're not here to talk specifically about that, but I know a lot of folks are fascinated, as I am, with what's going on in cannabis as it pertains to franchising, especially in the legalization. I've heard you give many presentations about, well, this state is medical only, this one is recreational, this one's coming, this one's not, this one's licensed, this one's more open, this one's less, this is more. Buddy, you got a staff a mile long of just attorneys.
We do. Yeah, that's attorneys and researchers. And, on my business card, I should just put it's complicated, because that's the answer. And us franchise people, we don't like complicated, right? We like it cut and dry. Here's how it is. And so we're excited to be able to bring these two worlds together, because it's really interesting. It changes daily. This last election cycle, we didn't know who the president was, but we knew that we went 5 for 5 with cannabis and brought on 5 new states. So priorities, right?
Wow. That is good. Well, so how many states? Well, we don't need to go into that. We could talk all day about the cannabis fascination. Let's talk franchising.
Let's do it.
You're a legal franchise with the Federal Trade Commission. How did that work?
Yeah, it's complicated. So one of the things that keeps why we're smart people, but we're not that smart. And one of the reasons we have this big runway ahead of anybody else doing it is that these worlds are really not compatible, although they should be, with cannabis being federally illegal and all the federal regulations and things that are placed upon the franchise industry. These two just butt heads. And so it took a lot of attorneys, and Mike Weinberger and myself and some franchise kind of experts that have been around a long time, and a lot of people on the cannabis side who've been around a really long time, 11 years in legal cannabis, which is kind of day one. And it took all of us together in one room, a lot of brain power with everybody in their own individual strengths and talents, and just putting together what the recipe would look like to be able to offer this roadmap for folks to navigate this incredibly complicated world, and put them into the franchise piece of it, where things are consistent and tight and nice and system and process driven. And the big difference here is, of course, the product, and that product creates AUVs and unit economics that we've not seen in franchising before.
This is a great example of how you can franchise just about anything. You're building, you got systems. I mean, think about the three legs of a stool. You got intellectual property that you're providing. You've got systems and influence that you're providing, and you've got money exchanging hands. So you put the legal plan together based on those 3 facts of your opportunity. It's a franchise. And so why not make it a franchise?
Why not? That's exactly right.
In fact, to me, that it's, again, we're not here just talking about Unity Road, but there's no better concept to franchise, because it is so complicated, and that you need, if you're going to do it right and do it efficiently in a financially lucrative way, you need to have the economies of scale and the systems and the backing of a giant powerhouse like you guys. So it just makes sense. I think the time is absolutely come for you. Beforehand today, we were talking about, okay, here's what I normally ask a franchisor. And one of the questions I normally ask is, how's funding going for you? Where are you seeing people get loans? What's the hottest sources for you? And then you reminded me.
It doesn't exist. We don't have options. One of those long list of complications is, look, in franchising, I mean, funding's great right now. The really good partners are strong. For the right candidates, money can be relatively inexpensive, and the right partners are getting a lot of deals across the finish line. And I'm jealous, Red, because we just don't have it. Because funding by nature is federal, right, or federally backed, and this is federally illegal. So anybody entering this industry is doing so with cash. We talk about net worth a lot in franchising. It doesn't matter. It's all about how much cash, how much liquidity you have on hand to be able to invest. And maybe that means investors or partnerships, but no traditional lending.
So I've not asked this, nor have I heard anyone ask this, but it comes to mind that, I mean, you're a significant investment, typically 7 figures. Yep. They can still do a Rob's program, right? A 401k rollover, tax-free, penalty-free. They just got to have a lot in that 401k.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is one of the only really traditional source that certainly could apply here, especially when it comes to the creation of the actual building and some of those hard costs. People still shy away from anything that's plant touching, but there's enough of an investment that has nothing to do with the plant and more the setup that certainly that's an option.
Okay, so the other day we had a IFPG Consultant Discovery Day, and you had a cool background. Now, I appreciate the real background, but do you have that handy where you showed what it looks like? This is a
Yes, there it is.
dispensary.
Now I'm in a dispensary, and
Retail. It's just a strip center retail.
Yep, it's just retail. And we use this a lot because I think people, especially in states where it's not legal, they think dispensary, they think old school, that weird guy's basement that you used to buy weed from, or somebody. And it's not. I mean, it's clean, it's bright, it's light, it's a consultative sales approach. There's local shout outs and artwork, and the decision makers of the homes are the new buyers. They go to Whole Foods, they go to the liquor store, and now they come to the dispensary. And so from a franchise standpoint, we get to create a brand that really is the new generation of dispensaries.
Never been a better time to be in franchising. Tell you what, awesome. So getting more and more legal, more and more states are opening. You got the medical, you got the recreational. Very cool, man. Well, let's talk broader scope. What is happening in franchising that you see? You're very tied in, you're connected with everyone. Are you seeing, as we've coming through COVID, vaccines are out there now, we're on the tail end of it, pray God, it's going to be a long tail, but what do you see happening now and into the new year?
I think this pandemic is going to create the next generation of millionaires. And I think franchising is the vehicle to do that. There's so much opportunity right now. And I think this pandemic has awoken a world and a country to the fact that life is fleeting, and so are jobs. And people want to rely on things they can count on, which is themselves and their networks and their talents and gifts. And so I think now more than ever, people are looking to franchising to take control and never be in a position where they have to be furloughed again or have to worry about inflexible schedules if their kids are, God forbid, at home being schooled, which has been amazing. So I think this is our time. I think good franchisors have continued to crush it through this pandemic, and I think lives are being changed and control is being taken, and pandemic be damned.
Dude, couldn't agree more. I get asked multiple times a day. Talk to a lot of folks who are considering being a consultant, right? And as well as current consultants, possible franchisors, they're all asking what's going on. How is the volume? Are you hurting? Are you struggling? And I tell them, the biggest reason I was losing deals as a franchisor for years and years and years was the great job market.
Yeah.
Two-thirds of jobs, not necessarily Unity Road, but 2/3 of franchises are job replacement in one way or another. And so they would get a dream job, they would get a raise, all this, and we'd lose the candidate. Not happening today. That's a big one for franchising. Then folks are at home getting laid off. They've got more time. Even if they're not laid off, they tend to got more time, less supervised time, so they can do some more searching. Another reason we'd lose deals, time kills deals, is people are busy. They don't have time to even research it. They're just living day to day, trying to get a couple bites in before they go to bed. Yeah. Then lending it can be tight. It's not. 401ks are through the roof with the market. Home equity is strong as ever. So all these reasons why people don't buy a franchise, I don't know of any, other than there are some sectors certainly that are struggling.
And that's the thing, right? This pandemic did not abuse everyone equally, right? There are many concepts, and we share a lot of common connections and panels and virtual shows and events and that kind of stuff. And people are hurting, and I don't want to downplay that. There are some businesses that are not set up for this, and they won't be. But then there's a lot of pivoting happening, and companies that are being really creative in how their future looks and what their model would be, so they don't get put in a position where they're not resistant to whatever might happen. And so I think there's going to be some really cool things coming out of this. And then the concepts that were essential, like cannabis or drive-throughs or location type, where you're not bringing a lot of people in the store, that have really been surviving and thriving through this, they're going to continue to grow and expand their franchise family and continue to change lives. It's really exciting to watch.
Yeah, it is. It's great to be the answer to a lot of people's prayers when they need an opportunity. By the way, you said y'all are essential. Is that true?
It is. Yeah. So we are an essential business. And not only that, Red, so retail wise, up, right? Way, way up. This has been really, really good for folks who have dispensaries open, but from a state by state standpoint too, there's all of these great sound bites from politicians saying, how have we deemed illegal what other states like Colorado have deemed essential? And the tax revenues are setting records. And we're here going, how do we make this budget work? And so I think it's going to expedite more and more states coming on board too. So another kind of byproduct of this pandemic.
Fascinating. Yeah, man. I love talking to you, Justin, not only because you're a buddy and a great guy, but just such a fascinating model. Whenever you do the webinars for our consultants, there are more consultants on those calls with more questions. We'll have a 30-minute webinar and 90 minutes later, I'm like, guys, dinner's cooking.
Get the hook off the stage. That's all right.
and they won't stop. So it's certainly fascinating. So you have any travel plans coming up at all? You doing any of that?
No, we're not. I mean, as the world begins to turn back on, and I appreciate for some travel really never turned off. We did, so we're out and we're staying local and doing a lot of things virtual. And I think some of this will continue on. But I was somebody through the last 15 years of this, traveled internationally a lot and was at every show and every event that happened in franchising. So I was a road warrior like a lot of us in franchising. And I don't see us me personally, I don't see me going back to that at the level I was. I'm itching. Like most, my wings have been clipped and I'm itching to get out there and see old friends and do something, hang with you, not in front of a camera. But I think that travel for me anyways, and my family, I think we've all kind of been eyes opened a little bit to the fact that a lot of business can be done without getting on a plane, but we're missing the personal connections. And I think I'm excited to get back to that.
Absolutely right. 100%. Well, you know what I want to add to this? I want to add a little lightning round at the end where I do the this or that, and get to know you. So I don't have a list, but I keep thinking I'm going to do one. So let me see if I could get some off the top of my head. Okay. So pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
Red Vans or Converse?
Cowboy boots.
Mountain or ocean?
Mountain.
Yeah, Colorado. David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
Sammy Hagar.
See, I got 4 good ones there. Now we know you just a little bit better. All right,
I'll be at the base of the mountain listening to Sammy Hagar eating a taco, right?
Wearing your Converse or
wearing my boots.
Well, so sweet, bro. I don't know when I'm gonna be in Denver area. The week after Christmas, I'll be out in Keystone.
Oh, nice.
Shout at you then.
We get a little opera there, buddy.
How far are you from Keystone?
Like an hour.
Yeah. Okay. You have to show me a dispensary. All right. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Justin Livingston with Unity Road. And thank you guys for joining this casual, fun time together, talking franchising with FranchiseWire Live, Red Boswell and IFPG. Thanks again and appreciate the sponsorship of Brand Journalists. Thomas Scott and the whole team there will take good care of you. Talk to them soon. Thanks again. Have a great holiday season, guys. See ya.
Thanks, Red.